Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. My Lord, the all-pervading person, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Jai. Narayanam namaskaritya param chaiva narottamam devim saraswati vyasam tato jayamudiyarayat. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan the Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtapareshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Magyana tamarandasya gyananjana shalakaya chakshurum milidam yena tasmai sri gurave namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Hare Krishna. Atanam Bangam Lankayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam. I offer my respectful obeisance unto my spiritual master, deliverer of the fallen souls. His mercy turns the dumb into eloquent speakers and enables the lame to cross mountains. Hare Krishna. Everyone, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Are you ready? Ready? Okay, great. We just have a little treat for you. We just completed another music video. It's called, what is it called? Loose Tongue Monster. It's about gossip. There's a nice surprise at the end. Okay? Okay, great. I think we can flick off the light. What's going on? Can you stop it? This has to be tested out first. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jai, how was the program last night? Was it okay, or? Always test it out before you do these things. Are we ready? All eyes are on you, Monil. Sorry, once in a while we just throw a little extra treat out there. Mm. Oh, please, please, please. Okay, that's not it. Okay, what are we going to stop it? Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop it, okay. Get it together, okay. Okay, let's just sing Kumbaya for a bit. Does anybody know what Kumbaya is?
It's like que sera, sera.
Something like that. Why didn't you guys have it ready?
How many brahmacharis does it take to put on?
Yeah. This is a failure. Okay. Where are we at in the Bhagavatam, by the way? Where?
We are reading 10.23 and verse 29.
Just getting the same thing again and again. Okay. Just do it tomorrow, I guess.
Are you here tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. And Thursday for a good chunk of the day. Okay, is there any hope? Well, black, that's a good start. Oh, okay. Okay, start from the beginning, please. Ooh. Next time, guys, get it right.
I think so.
Gossip is the cowardly, unofficial occupation of a jerk.
Volume?
Volunteers are either on par or full-time work. Call it a toxic tongue, a plague worse than a pandemic. A dirty and dark behind the back dynamic. A casual chat where the truth is not confirmed. A devil's radio broadcasting nothing to be learned. Who take note that those who gossip to you will inevitably and eventually gossip about you. And those who know so little about you suddenly become an authority, having all the goods on you. Gossipy people have nothing of substance to say. Fabrications from the mouth are always on display. It's a syndrome, a condition of verbal diarrhea. They are rumor addicts like alcoholics on tequila. Perhaps the greatest human offender is the gossiper. Not feeling their contribution has the status of philosopher. Do take note that those who gossip to you will inevitably and eventually gossip about you. And those who know so little about you suddenly become an authority, having all the goods on you. Gossip a lethal weapon will act comically as if to beckon, like a boomerang that's suddenly released and comes back to haunt and strike like a beast. So stay away from this backstabbing game. Stay away from fault finders who bear no shame. A superior investment to being critical is to point out the good in an individual. Don't let that big fat mouth try to obstruct too good listening ears poised to reconstruct any hope for a rumor monger. Perhaps is our deep prayer a call for a miracle compassion and help on a major repair.
Joy, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. That was fun to put that together. Thank you, Nityananda, for putting all the hard work behind that. Okay, let's get back to reality.
Well, it was reality.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Okay. We're looking at chapter 23, the Brahman's wives blessed, right? And it's Canto 10. And what are we doing?
Takes 29 and 30.
29, 30. Okay. All right. Have you got it up there? Good. That worked. Okay. Okay, so are we supposed to just, okay, read these together? Everyone together? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. The wives of the Brahmins replied, O Almighty One, please do not speak such cruel words. Rather, you should fulfill your promise that you always reciprocate with your devotees in kind. Now that we have attained your lotus feet, we simply wish to remain here in the forest, so we may carry upon our heads the garlands of tulsi leaves you have Okay. Our husbands, fathers, sons, brothers, other relatives and friends will no longer take us back. And how could anyone else be willing to give us shelter? Therefore, since we have thrown ourselves at your lotus feet and have no other destination, please, O chastise our enemies, grant our desire. Hare Krishna. So both purports are expected? 29. Okay, great. Hare Krishna. Here we go. Shri Patya Uchu. Maivang Vibhurati. I'm going to try it again. I was just trying to think of the melody. It changes every time, you know. Maivang Vibhurati Bhavana Gati Sang Sang. Satyam Gurushva Nigamam Tavapada Moolam. Paptavayam Tulasidhama Padava Shrishtam. Keshair Nivodam Adilangya Samasta Bandhun.
Sri Patneo Uchau.
Uchu.
Maivam Vibho Arhati Bhavan Lakitum Rasam Sama.
Aimam Vibhor Hati Bhavan Katitum Drisam Sam. Satyam Kurusna Nigamam Tavapa Mulam. Prapta Vayam Tulasidham Padavashrishtam. Sarnibodam Atilanga Samasta Bandhun. Sripatna Uchu. Patitam Sansam. Satyam Kurusva Nigamam Tavapada Moolam. Prapta Vayam Tulasidama Padavashrishtam. Sarvi Modam Atilanga Samas Bandhun. Shri Patni Uchu. Naivam Vibhor Hati Bhavan Kaditam Sam Sam. Satyam Kurushva Nigamam Tavapada Moolam. Prapta Vayam Tulasidhama Padavashrishtam. Kesha Nivodam Atilanga Samasta Bandhu. Uchu. Vibhorhati Bhavan Tatitum Nrisamsam.
Satyam Kurushva Nigamam Tava Padamulam.
Satyam Gurushva Nigamam Tava Padamulam.
Prapta Vayam Tulasidam Padavashishtam.
Tamvayam Tulasitam.
Yeshai Nivodamatilangya Samasta Bandhu.
Kesar Nivodam Atilanga Samasta Bandhu. Very good. Let's go to the word by word. Shri Patya Uchuhu. The wives of the Brahmins said. Ma. Not. Evam. Like this. Vibho. O Almighty Lord. Arhati. Ought. Bhavan. You. Gaditum. To speak. Nrisamsam. Harshly. Satyam. True. Kurushva. Please make. Nigamam. The promise given in the revealed scripture. Tava. Your. Padamulam. The base of the lotus feet. Prapta. Having obtained. Vayam. We. Tulasidham. The garland of tulsi leaves. Pada. By your feet. Avasritam. Neglectfully kicked away. Keshai. Upon our hair. Nivodam. In order to carry. Autulangya. Rejecting. Samasta. All. Bandhun. Relations. Haribol. Let's do this together. We've already gone through it. The wives of the Brahmins replied, Almighty One, please do not speak such cruel words. Rather, you should fulfill your promise that you always reciprocate with your devotees in kind. Now that we have attained your lotus feet, we simply wish you to remain in the forest so that we may carry on our heads the garlands of tulsi leaves. We're ready to give up all material relationships. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's, where are we at here? Disciples, devotees, yes. Okay, great. Shall we read it up? Okay, all right. Here the Brahmins' wives are saying some
Things.
similar to what the gopis say at the beginning of the rasa dance. That's from the Bhagavatam 10:29-31, when Lord
Krishna.
tells them to go
Away.
Back.
home as hello. No, well. Like this verse, the gopi statement begins with the words Maivang Vibhorhati Bhavan Katitung Nri Sang Sam. Nigama refers to the Vedic literature, which states that who surrenders at the lotus feet of the Lord does not return to this material world. Thus, the Brahmins' wives appealed to the Lord that since they had surrendered to him, it was unfair for him to order them to return to their materialistic husbands. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Lord might have pointed out to the Brahmins' wives, you young ladies are members of the aristocratic Brahmin community, so how can you surrender at the feet of a mere cowherd boy? Okay. To this, the ladies might have replied, since we have already surrendered at your lotus feet, and since we desire to become your servants, we are obviously not maintaining a false identification as members of the so-called Brahmin community. You can easily. You can, where are we now? Lost my spot. Since we have already surrendered this, you become your servants who have, oh God. Okay, you can easily ascertain this from our words. Lord might have replied, I'm a cowherd. Okay. And by my proper maidservants and girlfriends, and my proper maidservants and girlfriends are the cowherd girls, the gopis. Okay. The wives might have answered, true, let them be,
So,
let them be so. God, Krishna. The wise might have answered, true, let them be so. Let them shine forth if you are
Scared, shy, burdened,
Blushed.
shy.
give me an E,
Embarrassed.
Embarrassed. Very good. In front of you, of your relatives, to make Brahmin ladies your maidservants. We certainly don't want to embarrass you. We will not go to your village, but will rather remain in Vrindavan, like presiding deities of the forest. We simply desire to perfect our lives by even a slight trace of connection with you. Thus, by the spiritual insight, very good, of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, we learn that the Brahmins' wives offered to remain at a distance and simply take the tulsi leaves that would fall from the lotus feet of or be crushed by the feet of his girlfriends when he would embrace them. The ladies offered to carry these tulsi leaves upon their heads, thus renouncing the desire to become Krishna's intimate girlfriends or maidservants, a position they knew was difficult to achieve. The young Brahmin ladies begged to remain in Vrindavan forest. If the Lord had then asked, then what will your family members say? They would have replied, we have already transcended our so-called relatives because we are seeing you, O the Supreme Lord, face to face. Haribol, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, great. So we're caught in a beautiful pastime of the Lord where devotees are, there's two mindsets here. You've been going through some of these verses, some of these shlokas here. It's very interesting. It seems that what comes out of all of this particular episode, is that the wives of the Brahmins are shining through as very surrendered souls. They're acting very spontaneously, and it's not like some kind of rigid dogmatic practice, as in the case of the Brahmins themselves. That can be a very strong pitfall for anybody in spiritual life, is when it's rules, it's gestures, and it's physical, it's mechanical, that's another word we can use, but what's lacking sometimes, heartfelt, sensations or emotions, that's what's lacking sometimes. When I was taking a shower this morning, I played Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was making a very strong emphasis. It's not by karma, it's not by jnana, it's not by this or that, but rather it's by bhakti. And bhakti means devotion. And then he quoted from chapter 9, from Bhagavad Gita. You probably know the verse. Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti paradham ashnami prayatatmanaha. And there are many other verses, bhaktyamam avajanati yavanyash chashmita tutaha, which we find near the end of the Gita. It's through devotion that God can be understood. It's through devotion that we can connect with him, and not by any other practices. That's what I want to highlight, at least. The wives came through very strong with their emotions, and their husbands were lagging a little bit behind. And when the Krishna and Balaram were asking for a little, something to eat, their response was, that is the Brahmins. Well, we're very busy. We're doing something very important, We're Brahminical people, and this is where it is at, And you can bother us some other time, but we are very, very busy. And the coward boys who were summoned to try to get something from these Brahmins, just at their plea, Krishna and Balaram are hungry. Can you please help them out? And you have to question, what is the yajna all about? Isn't it for pleasing the Supreme Lord? Isn't that what it is? Have you ever heard before that when we do a havan or a ceremony, I think partly you've done quite a few of them, you've married a few people, got them initiated and all that through the havan, through the fire. And don't we always say that the fire is the tongue of God? And Prabhupada explains that that's how, you can see that God is eating through these ceremonies, with Agnihotra, or this very ancient homa, as they call it in the south, South India. So that's something that we can see God doing, consuming, and if it's offered with love, it's great, I think it's always a beautiful experience when I go to a temple and there's a fire ceremony going on. And I get a little disappointed if people don't get their sesame seeds in their hands, or whatever, barley and all the other, the ingredients, the samagri, whatever else is mixed inside. And people don't get to participate. Of course, there's always a problem saying, please aim into the fire. And this story is about aiming, actually. It's getting to the lotus feet of the Lord. And the feet are a humble position. I don't know if there's any culture that talks about feet like we do, honestly. Feet are always, it's in our songs. It's in our discussions from time to time. Some of us even get nice massages. And help each other sometimes, Feet are a big thing. Personally, I never thought that feet were sexy or anything like that. That there was anything special about feet. But when we understand that at the bottom of the feet, there is something quite significant, and there's all kinds of connections. I think we all know the pressure points that connect you to the organs of the body. And, just like with the hands, the same thing. Let's not use our feet, but maybe do you want to press here for a bit? Here? Like really press in there. Okay. Have you done it before? Okay. Right in here. Right in here. This is supposed to activate some of your organs, right? So the ends of the hands and the ends of the legs, we've got something that's very important, vital to the operation of the body. And so devotional service begins from a very humble position. We're now in the 10th canto. It's legit to be able to look at the feet, or not, the face of the Lord starts with the F. But it starts off, Canto 1, Canto 2, at looking at the feet of the Lord, taking humble position. And then gradually, as you rise, and we get to the 10th canto after hearing about there's supposed to be 10 major subject matters, and we hear and read about a lot of the different avatars, some of the principal ones. It's really interesting, right? Yeah. But eventually you get up to the face of the Lord. We're supposed to be advanced by this stage. And the face, everything about the face, and the eyebrows is supposed to conquer sex desire. You can try it out, I guess. You go way up to the peacock feather of Krishna. Every day, we're lucky. We get to have darshan of their lordships, right? And we get a chance to. I don't know what you do, what your practice is. Do you look at the face first, or do you start from here and go up? Okay, so it's an ascending process, right? Good. Yeah, that's actually the method. That's good. It's not bad karma or a cardinal sin if you look at the face first. You know, you're not going to go to hell or Kumbhipaka, any of those kind of places. You're good, you're okay. You're okay. At least you're looking at the Lord. How many people have a chance to look at the Lord? Some people don't even have a chance to even look at the clouds and the sky in the morning. They're in a concrete jungle. They live in concrete and they go to work through concrete and everything like that. Some people live down in the ground, like Prabhupada said, in the future they'll all live like rats in the ground, in holes in the ground. That's happening to some degree. Actually, they have one of the largest underground shopping malls in the world, right downtown. Right, you can go forever and ever. People don't know about that, so you don't always have to suffer and deal with the severe elements of January or February or March. Yeah, you could just keep going through from one, corridor to the next, and almost close to the lake. Okay, so spiritual life begins at a humble position, and it also should end there. Now, some people are very reluctant to lie down and to offer obeisance. And I think when we first come to Krishna consciousness, maybe we're a little bit reluctant. We have some apprehension. So I'm not going to bow down to anybody. Why should I do that? But after a while, it grows on you, and you understand. Well, if I do this, if I do dandavats, and don't fall like a stick, like a dunda. It'll hurt you if you get these palms down there first. But it's definitely, if you act it out, you will feel it. Just like when you dress a certain way, you dress in the mode of goodness, you feel in goodness. You dress in the mode of passion, what they say, dress to kill, then you'll feel passionate. You dress in the mode of ignorance, which means you probably didn't, do your laundry for a few months. I don't know if anybody's ever been there before. I think I'd probably just kill myself if I had the choice, if I had to dress like that. Hiranyakashipu was very unwilling to surrender, to submit to the Lord. You know the story. We're going to be celebrating the pastime of Narasimha. Now, usually it's head down first, but with him, it was a little bit of a different situation. He got hurled up in the air, heaved up in the air, and then plopped down onto the lap of the Lord, Narasimha. And so his dandavats were a little bit upside down. But, and then the first case of having a laptop was with Narasimha Dev. And he's poking away, just really dramatical.
Abdominal surgery.
You're right, yeah, doing surgery. Yeah, that's right. And he had to learn kind of the hard way, And we know a little bit, if we fast forward into his future, he had to take birth, again, like 3 times altogether, and his brother Hiranyaksha as well. They had to pay for their sins. But then there was the 4th birth, and does anybody know what happened there? Jagai and Madai, yeah. And they appeared in Gora Lila. They became Jagai and Madai, and that's when a transition took place. They didn't stay being rascals. I love when Prabhupada says rascals. It's beautiful. It's music to my ears. Because Prabhupada was very blunt and bold and concise, and he didn't have any qualms about telling the truth about things. So some people are rascals. Okay, so these rascals, as Jagai and Madai, because they came from a Brahminical background, and they got into womanizing. There was a lot of crime. There was, theft, drunkenness, and all the worst things. Everything that embodies what is Kali Yuga, that they did. But they had a confrontation with Nityananda, and the original one, and with Chaitanya. They were no match. And as you know how the story goes, they finally surrendered, and You know, they could feel this fiery weapon, which we know is the chakra, coming at them. And they were making a plea, please, you know, give us a break. We need a break in life. And if you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita in some detail, you see that they became major, like a major branch out of the Chaitanya tree of love of God. They became surrendered. They were converted. They were born again. Yes. Hala Krishna. Okay. So they changed. They became incredible disseminators of the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. They were into sharing. So on that note, sharing Krishna, the mercy of Krishna, really makes you a strong person. There's two types of devotees that I've seen. There are those who are little like hermits, and they're like little, what would you say, like little lemmings. When we were up north in Nunavut, you didn't see that much wildlife, I'll be honest with you. The caribou weren't coming down at that, the capital city where we stayed, do you remember? But we did see a lot of lemmings. Do you remember that? Little rodents, and they seem to handle the weather. And lemmings are known for being suicidal, like an alpha male will, kind of jump off a cliff, and they're all just follow. Oh, let's go. Looks like fun. And where was I going with this? I do tend to trail off once in a while. Lemmings. Nunavut.
You observe three kinds of devotees, preachers,
Yeah, hermits. The way of the hermits who are in the at Sharanagati, not Sharanagati. It's definitely in at the Vancouver Temple. You've got those. What do you call those moles? They make these little mountains.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Grass is full of them.
yeah. No, absolutely. So there are devotees who are very reserved, and they're very quiet, and you hardly get a peep out of them. That's just their nature. Some great saints have that sort of quality, that mindset. Then there are others who are very outgoing, a little bit extroverts and introverts. Those are the two kinds of people, right? Maybe there's somewhere in between a little bit here and there.
Ambivert.
You, pardon me?
Ambivert.
Oh, that's the in-between. Are you one of
What's it
those?
called?
Ambivert.
Ambivert?
A-M-B-I-V-E-R-T.
Can you write that down for me?
Ambivert. Oh, introvert, extrovert, ambivert.
Okay, got it, yes, okay, good. Some kind of vert. And it's accepted, but for those of us who have got a lot of energy, and those of us who like to share, here's the opportunity, like no other situation. Deliver Krishna consciousness, help the people, talk to them, It doesn't always mean you have to come across as a fanatic, but come across as a friend. I find that's the way that opens doors. I don't think there's any other way. You can't be rude, you can't be crass and cold and and arrogant. You approach people with kindness, and Prabhupada was very good at that. He was very good at that. So, sharing. What do you think about that program, that mandate that's given to us in the Krishna consciousness movement? We're asked to share whatever realizations we have gained. Share it with someone. Tell someone. To hold it to yourself. I think it's a great program. We've gone through this purport, and there's great commentators here. They're giving their little take on this particular pastime, and it is very interesting. We need to hear from them. Prabhupada always did that when he translated. He had a stack of books by the acharyas, and he would make references to them. I think that after he passed away, some of the purports here are very elaborate, done by Prabhupada's devotees, and to express a little bit what the acharyas have to say, what's on their minds, So it's good. But for a takeaway here, I think we can look to the wives of the Brahmins. They're like real heroes in the story. And there's some people in the movement that I think need to really dig into this particular story, especially the opponents to the Vaishnavi Diksha Gurus. Very controversial right now. But it doesn't matter the gender so much, it's just your eagerness. And that's the price you pay for, becoming very advanced, evolved in Krishna consciousness. Share it with others. Those are the devotees that are the strongest, the ones that go out and share. And there are some real bold people out there in our movement. They're willing to take all kinds of chances and risks to share this wisdom with others. Maybe you've had that feeling before. Okay, yeah. I remember we had one particular devotee, he just lived up the street, Shyam Krishna. I don't know if you ever got to know him, but he had a Rajarshi, he was his brother in Vancouver years ago. Yeah, he had a brother. They were from Africa originally. We brought him to the street, young and Dundas. This was his first time. And the temple president at the time, we were chanting. He gave a little nudge to Shyam Krishna, who's a businessman. He's not used to, being out there like young people with all their energy. But he went to the crowd. He walked to the crowd because he was encouraged to do so. And he was just ready to talk to a person. And the guy had a big fat Bible that he pushed in Shyam Krishna's face. So surely he was being tested, But certainly he gets some points for that. Merit points, not demerit points. We've seen a lot of interesting things in the early days, isn't it? Going on the street. Like, I don't think you'd have that. Of course, we were kind of bold. We were a bit pushy. We were kind of desperate in many ways. So the way we came on to people was a little bit hard and heavy, a little fanatical sometimes. So we had to pay for that, After a while, we found out, well, why don't you just be nice to people? Maybe it'll work better, And so that's what happens. And one more thing to learn from the lesson on the whole. The boys went out and they acted on behalf of Krishna Balaram because they're all buddies. And the Brahmins refused to help, to drop what they were doing and give some, nice fruit and veggies to the Supreme Personalities of Godhead. And but they didn't give up. Krishna said, try this other group of people. Check out their wives, So one has to be very persistent. That's all. And when I was at the Govardhan Eco Village just 3 weeks ago, I think it was, Radhanath Swami told me how it all worked out to manifest the way it was. So 8 hours outside of Mumbai, they had a piece of property the devotees had. There were some hired farmers there. And the big attraction, the big draw, was a river running through the property. And the water looked good, but when tested, it was very, very poisoned, And for that reason and other reasons, the farmers had like a big revolt. So we don't want to work here. We don't want to do this, So basically the project folded up, And then, but devotees were on the project, including Maharaj and others. They were very persistent. They didn't give up. They looked at least over 200 properties, before they decided on the current one, which is about like a 2.5 hour drive outside of Mumbai. And they got what they wanted, 100 acres plus another. It's a rebuild, a reconstruction or duplication, maybe better than the original in some ways, of Vrindavan, and they're going to work on Mayapur. So there's a little Yamuna River, there's Govardhan Hill. Some of you have been there. It's just a wonderful place. And it's beautiful. No traffic, no trash, no trauma. So that's why it was great. And when I was there, I thought this is the nicest place I've been to in India thus far. But the only thing, I think I've told some of you before, I miss my squirrels, my raccoons, and the skunks, and all those. It was a little bit divested of some kind of wildlife. Mostly it was snakes that were coming around. Okay, so anyways, the main point is that the boys got fed, and don't give up, even when pursuing people for some service, because basically just the Brahmins, the Pandits, were asked to do some service. But they said no. I can remember we had some characters here in the past. I better finish off soon, because we need to hear from you. We had one Prabhu who was very focused on chanting 64 rounds a day. And because he was living in the temple, and I was the president at the time, I said, Prabhu, we need a little more service from you. And he'd go like, Hare Krishna, in my face like that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And I surely felt like he needed medication or something. Instead of the meditation, we did have a few more of those kind of people, around, even though they were doing some devotional service. But let's say it wasn't really blessed, it really wasn't authorized, so that's the other thing. Do that which you're blessed to do. Get blessings from people. So I better cut it off there. And Hare Krishna, what a beautiful purport, hearing from the different acharyas, and this is a very beautiful pastime. Yes, all around. Any comments, reflections? Yes, bro.
Thank you, Maharaj, for wonderful class. I have a question. In Vrindavan pastimes, mostly we see Vatsalya Bhav, Sakya Bhav, but in this pastime, Vaishnava Brahmanas are saying that we will carry the garlands of tulsi leaves upon from your head, from your lotus feet. So does that mean they knew that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
They knew he was very special. That's for sure. I mean, he was a draw. He was the heartthrob, like no one else. And much like Mother Yashoda, there may be moments of them understanding this is the Supreme Personality of God. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paraman Bhavan. Even on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna, there's mixed rasas there. Definitely servitude is in there. There's the awe and reverence is one of the more secondary types of feeling. There was friendship, so it's a mix. So when we go to the spiritual world, you can expect a mix of rasas, trail mix. All right. Did you want to say something?
I say you were mentioning at the beginning about aiming towards Krishna. And also you're talking about Krishna's lotus feet. There's one purport where Srila Prabhupada mentions that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that one should think of the holy name like the bow, and your spirit soul as an arrow, and you should aim it at Krishna's lotus feet.
Nice. It's a nice thought. Yeah, we all know about the story of Jara. It's got nothing to do with that, right? All right, go ahead.
I find that the Brahmins, their ability to switch to what Krishna wants and accept that is actually quite phenomenal, because they had their hearts set on having a conjugal relationship with the Lord. And the gopis, same situations coming up, right? And Krishna's trying to send them back home and saying, go do your normal dharma. And they said, no way, we're not moving an inch. But they could understand that it's what Krishna wanted here. And to be able to switch over, to what Krishna wants shows their real devotion.
Sincerity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing that they could switch like that.
Yes, right.
Still determined, but
Yeah,
adjusting to what Krishna wants.
right. Yeah, that word adjustment, it's really important. A very important practice in devotional life, for sure, being pliable, flexible. Okay, now you had your Panchatattva.
You mentioned many good points, but the one stood out to me was spiritual life begins when you take a humble position.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time we are practicing bhakti. We are not there at that stage where you are perfect. A lot of the time it happens that you might have to act tough or be little I don't know, tough again.
If you're the temple coordinator, you mean?
Sorry.
If you're the temple coordinator.
Maybe in temple and maybe in outside when you are preaching, when you are facing difficulties or difficult people. So does that mean that like in that moment you are like falling down or?
No, I just like the phrase, I think it's applicable to say this, that I like the phrase that Prabhupada gave. He said, be a lion on the chase and a lamb at home. There's two different rasas there. Like some of you are, going into the world or getting jobs or have a job, and even if you have it, you have to hustle, right? Hustle. And then, but when you're here in the temple, it's all, you're dealing with a bunch of softies here. You gotta treat them like kittens, right? It depends on the role that you play. Sometimes you have to be a little tough, firm, depending on your role. Yeah, so anyways, it's a full-on experience of different tastes, right? I mean, a good meal is like where there's a thali with different flavors, isn't it? Right? Something sweet, something sour, different colors are there. Should I answer this? Shukavak. Hi, Mr. Shuk. I'm just doing a class finishing up there. Have you got the baby yet? Have you got the baby yet? 2 weeks. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little ahead of time. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just in 1 hour, would that be okay? Jai, Hare Krishna. Yeah, go ahead.
I've realized I was thinking, but Jiva Prabhu asked about sometimes we be firm, certain circumstances. I've seen that if, for example, if Muni Prabhu is the one who manages the men's ashram and all, and it's very easy to take instruction from him, because I know the sadhana is good. When I'm seeing that a very spiritually advanced person is giving me instructions, then I'm very happy to take it. But when I see if people are certain position, but I don't see them as very spiritually advanced, but still they have a position. So how to be humble in that situation? Like, okay, he got some position, but then how to be humble in that?
Well, I mean, some people are a little crass, a little bit rough, and still they've got a position, and it's in Krishna service as part of the mission, They're representing Prabhupada, so even if it doesn't come across like, like a, cream with a cherry on top, still the service has to be done and has to be rendered, Take it as a sign of God. I mean, when I never talked to Prabhupada, but I always understood that the mercy from Prabhupada flows through my seniors, and sometimes they were a little bit, act out of line. I could see that myself, but I understood still they are in a position to give some orders and services, and said, well, that's Krishna's policy. That's how he operates, And we cannot be so conditional about our service to the guru or to the mission. We can't be too. I'm only going to do service. About like I'm only going to do service when people say it nicely. It can't be like that. It's got to be. And Just like say if you're on the battlefield, you know, and your commander tells you to do something, you know, cease fire, but you want to keep going at it. So, well, you didn't say it nice. I'm not going to listen to you. You know, it's the order, and you have to simply follow the order. You know, whether it comes through, you know, like ice cream, or whether it comes a little bit harsh, like a pickle. You know, I talk Canadian pickle. You know. They're a little easier to handle. Is that okay? Yeah, it's all coming the same way. You know, just I might be different approaches, but it's all the same service after all. And we have to learn to be tough. You know, sometimes it comes from being with tough people. You know, can't just be. You have to have a spine. You have to have a backbone. You have to be tough a little bit, especially with yourself. Si, senor.
First thing, Maharaj, I wanted to follow because I'm the person who keep on asking everyone, can you talk nicely to me or say it in a better way to me?
So you're conditional. You're conditional.
Kinda. So let's say Jivita or Monil or Sarthik, anybody's giving me service and they are being a little hard, and I'll be like, okay, first say that nicely, I'll do it. Because sometimes, like most of the times we can do it, but sometimes if it actually feels like, oh Krishna, and you feel sometimes distressed or not inspired to do service, so is it okay to ask?
Well, okay, sometimes. But the point is, the person who's giving the orders or the service, they understand the urgency of the situation. That's why it comes across like not flowery, you know. I mean, there's a lot of people like they just say it nice to me. Like it's just everything's about feeling. You're my feelings. Nothing will get done, you know. Like every time, I think I have to go to the shrink, you know, because you know you're my feeling. Well, there's business. Things have to get done. You know, temples have to be built. No more horsing around. Books have to be distributed. Prasadam has to be distributed. And sometimes you have to just come across. I mean, I remember I was a GBC person. I already started voting. And one person who was a sannyasi, my godbrother, 2 years my senior, he was a little bossy with me. And I just took it, okay, that's fine, you know. But I thought maybe he could have, under the circumstance, been a little more mellow, like a mellow fellow. But anyways, the point was, you know what were we doing? We were serving, the GBC men were serving well, it wasn't just the Brahma, the students at the Gurukul. We were serving prasadam to them. You know, they're all sitting down and we're forking it out. So I thought that was a very honorable thing to do. And it came from someone, the great idea, the chairman of that year, and we did it. We felt so good about it. We only did it 1 year. I wish we could have done more. But you understand, it's coming from Krishna ultimately. You know, you can't demand the rain. Come nice, Indra. Come nice. Don't come hard. Don't send me hail. Come on. Everything should be nice and pretty. It's not the way the world is. It's going to be softy, again, like a spineless jellyfish. Okay, anything else? Because I think we should stick to our schedule. Yeah, do you have something quick?
Yes, Maharaj. So you mentioned that sharing Krishna makes you a strong person.
Yeah.
So what does sharing Krishna means, like going out distributing books or giving out lectures or?
Well, you know, I think you could narrow it down to 3 or 4 items that you dish out. You know? And Hare Krishna devotees are known to give out the sound, sacred sound. That's one thing. They're also known to give out sacred wisdom in the form of books and also sacred food. And the fourth item could be do it with a lot of love, kindness, friendship. Do it nicely, not haphazardly. There you go. I remember we were at the airport in Kiev, We were just asking, there was a delay, we got like vouchers for eating, like in Russia, like Kiev, Ukraine. What are we supposed to get from their cafeteria, right? So the lady came around, this big lady, and said, "Here." And what was it? Rice and ketchup. That's all they had for us. But she had such an attitude. Like for an international airport, doesn't work. So let's just distribute all those three things. Lord Shiva has like a tribe. So those three pronged things. That's what we distribute. That's what we give, and do it with kindness. We'll be successful. Do it professionally and devotionally. Does there anybody have a problem with professionalism?
No.
No? Is everyone okay? It's Maya, isn't it? To be professional? No? Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. Okay, so anybody else? One quickie? Yeah.
What if Prabhu was talking about sharing Krishna consciousness? What if you're not motivated? Like, I'm talking about myself. I'm not sometimes, 98% of the time, I'm not motivated to share Krishna. I've heard Prabhupada saying these people are
Well,
like misers who are not giving.
Not motivated. Okay, well then I would say associate with people who are motivated. You go for the contagion of it all. And, we need little nudges here and there. And the happiest people are the ones that give. In giving, you become happy. Those people who hoard, the misers that we're talking about, they're never. Misers are mice. They hoard, they grab things like rats, pack rats. They go for this, and then it's part of their nest, and they just go and grab things and just hoard and just kind of build their little empire where you don't want it to be. Okay, so let's stick to our schedule, Prabhus, and we're doing the exercise right now. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Prabhus. Jai Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyascha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. And we're going to the ashram, right? Yeah, okay. What are you girls, are you going to do?